Today we're going to be looking at more measurements, but today we're going to be looking at capacity. So we're going to be measuring capacity. Capacity is the maximum amount that something can contain. So capacity is the inside of something. When you fill something, what is its capacity? So here are some standard measurements of capacity that we use every day, from biggest, which is a gallon, to smallest, or at least the smallest that we're going to go over today, which is a cup. But, if you're a baker, you know that you can have half a cups and quarter cups and teaspoons and tablespoons. So there are other measurements as well. But these are the ones we're going to focus on. So a gallon, obviously, we're all very aware of this. Quarts are the next size down. It's going to take more quarts to make a gallon. And then we go down to pints. The milk container that you guys have for lunch every day is a pint. And a lot of the glasses, especially ones you see at restaurants, are in pints. And then if you've ever baked or anything like that, measurements of a cup. So if you're making cookies or something, you put a certain amount of cups of flour or sugar inside of something. So those are the units of measure we're going to be looking at today. So let's take a look at what equals what. Because just like with measurement, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to figure out how many of one measurement it takes to make one of a larger or a smaller one. So if you look here, okay, you have some equivalents. 4 quarts equals 1 gallon, 8 pints equals 1 gallon, 16 cups equals 1 gallon. So it's always nice to know what equals 1. Okay, 2 cups equals 1 pint and 2 pints equals 1 quart. Now that sounds like a lot, but there's actually kind of an easy way to remember it, and that's to use this, the big G, I like to call it. So the way that this works is a G represents a gallon, which is our biggest form of measurement. Inside the gallon, you have 4 Q's, which are 4 quarts. So it takes 4 quarts to make 1 gallon. By the way, if you cut a gallon in half, it takes 2 quarts to make a half a gallon. Inside the quarts, you have the letter P, which is for pints. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pints in 1 gallon, and there's 2 pints in 1 quart. And if you look at, if you had 2 quarts, there would be 4 pints. So 4 pints. So this is kind of a neat visual where you can see right away how many of something it takes to make something else. And if you look inside the P's, there are 2 C's, which stands for cups. So there are 2 cups in 1 pint. So 2 cups in 1 pint, 2 pints in 1 quart, 4 quarts in a gallon. All right, and so if you were to count this up, if you wanted to know how many cups it would take to make a gallon, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it takes 16 cups to make a gallon. So literally you could draw out this picture, which is easy to remember, and use this to help you figure out problems that have to do with capacity and measurement. So we're going to take a couple, look at a couple of problems together. So let's take a look at this one together. Jerry. Jerry is making fruit punch for her party. The recipe will make a gallon of juice. How many cups of juice will a gallon make? So how many cups of juice will a gallon make? Now watch this. If I go back here, I can super easily figure that out. Because I just counted. There's 2 cups in each of these, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 4. That's going to be 16 cups. Boy, that made my life pretty easy. 16 cups. Now, I wonder how many cups of juice would be in 2 gallons. So what if we were to change the problem? Well, if there's 16 cups of juice in 1 gallon, then 2 gallons would be 2 times 16. So 2 gallons would have 32 cups. Okay, let's move on. Larry is filling up pints of water to take on a camping trip. He is going with his 2 closest friends. If he wants to take 2 gallons of water for each person, how many pints will he need to fill up? Okay, the first question was simple. This one's a little bit more complicated, so let's take a look at it. So, how many pints will he need to fill up? Okay, what do I need to know? if he wants to take 2 gallons, let's see, if he wants to take 2 gallons of water for each person. Okay, so it doesn't tell me how many pints he wants for each person, but it tells me he wants 2 gallons for each person. And then I need to figure out that amount in pints. So let's go back and look. How many pints are in 1 gallon? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's go back. So 1 gallon equals 8 pints. Okay, and he's going to take 2 gallons. Well, so that's 2 times 8. Okay, so that is going to be 16 pints. So he's going to need to take with him 16 pints because there are 8 pints in 1 gallon. And he is taking 2 gallons. Wait a minute. I'm not done yet. He wants 2 gallons for each person. So 2 gallons is 16 pints. Now how many people are there? He is going with his 2 closest friends. I'm assuming he's going to want water for himself. So each person is going to get 2 gallons, and there's going to be 3 people going. So to finally solve this problem, I'm going to have to do 3 times 16 in order to solve it. So 3 times 6 is 18. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. So actually, the answer to this problem would be 48 pints. Now you'll notice as you go from something bigger to something smaller, you have more of them. So 1 gallon is going to have a lot of pints in it, and pints are going to have a lot of cups in them because when you break it down to something smaller, the amount that you have is going to increase.